My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Sagittarius, we're pretty much heading off towards your season, I believe, starting this Friday, November 21st. But of course, we have the new moon in Scorpio on the 20th, so please feel free to watch it if you have any Scorpio placements. But we're pretty much heading off, towards your beautiful season. But anyway, I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot, and for this week, I'm going to be doing your general reading, your past, present, future, 9-card spread. But I want to introduce you all to the Macabre Tarot. So what this, tarot deck is all about, because it's kind of designed, the box, was created by this person named Sam Rook, and, this, tarot deck is all about stepping into the darkness and releasing your fears. So I'm going to, be your tarot guide on how you guys can release your fears, process them, coming to terms with it, and stuff like that. So please feel free to stay tuned for that reading after or in about a week or so. But anyway, I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck, clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and finish off with 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started with your reading. Okay. General card is the 3 of Pentacles reversed. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. You start off with 7 of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. And 2 of Wands reversed. Yeah, what I kind of got here is, you were being presented with options and opportunities, and you were pretty much just kind of working incredibly hard on them. Or maybe you did choose one of them, or maybe you kind of just already had your own current job of whatever it may be. But yet something was holding you back regarding the 2 of Wands. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, it can happen, you're being offered all of these beautiful, opportunities and options and stuff like that. And yet, you're pretty much just working very hard. Maybe you are actually forgoing these options, but yet something is holding you back. What was actually causing you to feel maybe like, well, you weren't quite ready to embark on any kind of journeys in the past? I mean, to each their own, it's like if you felt incredibly fatigued, exhausted from your job, your career, whatever it may have been or is and stuff like that, that could also, put one in a position to say, you know what, I'm not going to be going out anywhere. I just want to kind of rest and recover. I want the 4 of Swords. I want to be able to just kind of take my time with everything, because you are definitely an adventurous, free spirit. So it's pretty much like your mind is already, just saying, you know what, this is how we're going to go about it, and that's how we're going to go about it and stuff. So because in current times, you get Page of Cups reversed, Queen of Cups, okay. You get 2 queens in today's reading, and yet you get the Empress reversed of Virgo energy. Okay, so what I'm actually mostly seeing here is, it's like there was a sense of realism, because normally with the Page of Cups upright, it's kind of like having this beautiful daydream. It's an idea child, a little idea seed, but yet also if the proper nutrients and care and love isn't put into it, it just remains an illusion. But since it came in reverse, it's kind of like the opposite, where you pretty much have this realistic idea and you're nurturing this idea, but yet you feel like you're not getting anything out of it. If you're like trying to become like an entrepreneur or something, creating some kind of product, business, what have you, and stuff like that, or whatever, it just looks like you might have to, let's put it in this way, tweak it a bit. Because the thing is, it's like the general card is definitely how you're pretty much facing, these ideas and what have you by yourself and stuff like that. So the thing is maybe you are being able to put to the test to see how far you can get with like any kind of like, your own personal, creations and stuff like that. But it looks like that, but this could also be sort of like coming to terms with something as well, saying, it's like, yes, this is a realistic goal and we're doing our best and we're not really getting anything out of in current times. So, but we'll have to continue. Because in the future, it looks like that you might be changing course of some kind, because when you get the 5 of Swords reversed, 4 of Swords, speaking of the 4 of Swords, but this one, it came in reversed, and here is Tower, Aries energy, your brother, sister, fire sign. You know what I'm seeing you do, or you know what I see is that you're pretty much just kind of changing course. That's kind of how I can mostly simplify, at least the first part of today's reading, or at least for this week, is that maybe you actually came to terms with something and it actually just turned into one big fool's errand, fool's gold kind of situation. And you realize, you know what, we're not getting anything out of this. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to, give up this idea for now. We're just going to finally take action in our own ways or something, because we're going to be bracing ourselves for this big change coming up. And that's the thing, is, sometimes when you realize that something is just not going to be benefiting you, it's like, even creating like this YouTube channel, it's like, I'm very, so honored with how many followers I have, but I was just also kind of at the start, I was even, putting my own vampiric, moment, on the line, when I'm just thinking, how are people actually going to be embracing a vampire into their lives, right? I mean, of course, these movies, TV shows, they make them look so beautiful, glamorous, loving, what have you, and stuff like that. But the thing is, that's only just fiction. So, but I was pretty, but if I would have not made it, I would have probably also tried something different, or I would have, done something else with tarot. But anyway, for clarification for Seven of Cups, you got the Wheel of Fortune. So you pretty much just thought, okay, it's like, how am I going to get this fortune and what have you? This is already a beautiful start where you were being presented with this very beautiful luck and fortunate offering in the past. So fabulous, and congratulations on achieving that beautiful desired goal. Or maybe, yeah, this could have definitely be one of the chalices that was going to equal luck and fortune as well, and so forth. But it just looked like that. Well, you were definitely being presented with a very beautiful, this very beautiful offering in the past, and it just looked like, okay, it looked incredibly promising and stuff. So, but anyway, we'll continue on. For the Queen of Swords, you get Three of Swords, one of the cards I pulled for the vampire. So what I mostly see here is that, there is definitely some kind of sacrifice that had to be made. Or maybe you didn't choose the right chalice or what have you in other ways. But this is kind of like you're hardworking, but yet you also feel heartbroken about something as well. Yeah, I mean, the thing is it's not always, the thing about like those yin and yang, pictures, it's like, the big white, like, I don't know which one it is anymore, because, and then suddenly here's the black speck, that's the thing, is, it's like, but it's usually with any kind of glorious, like offering or voyage and stuff like that, it's like eating, like, junk food, for example, except I can't eat it, but even, the human, told me, and, recently how he also indulged in, some kind of, junk food and stuff like that, but he said the price that you pay is that you probably, would gain a few, kilos or pounds and stuff like that, what have you, whatever, currency or whatever, like, methods, you guys use, but the point is that, it's like, well, there seemed to be some kind of, like, and will turn around of some kind, or something that was, could have also been like a foreseen circumstance as well. But to me, it mostly kind of gives me like, the sacrificing kind of vibe. Because for Two of Wands reversed, something is holding you back because you got Five of Grails. So I wonder if you could have been maybe deceived or hoodwinked of some kind. Misled. Because the thing is, like, the reason why you wouldn't be heading out is because obviously something contributed to the Three of Swords. And whenever you're heartbroken, I mean, then you're mostly in the form of having to heal and recover. You have to heal and mend that broken heart, or your mind, your spirit, what have you, and stuff like that. Or even body. But, before you think, okay, we may have injured ourselves, but now we're just going to go out on this big, long hike. No, that's very unrealistic and probably dangerous in many ways. The point is that's why, I mean, I'm just wondering if you could have been, misled somehow, where, somebody gave you high hopes about something and you thought, yes, let's do this, and that's why, you were hardworking about it, but yet you just didn't get anything in return. Because the Page of Cups reversed, we're finally coming to some realistic goal or idea. You get the Six of Grails. So obviously this was kind of like a silver lining, or this is a silver lining kind of moment where you're finally coming to terms with maybe this incident that took place recently, like in the past, wherever it may have taken, and now you're pretty much in like the cautionary tale kind of mindset and thinking, okay, how can we, turn this all around and stuff like that? Because the thing is, it's usually, by experience mostly. I mean, it's like, cautionary tales, you listen to other people to see what he or she has done and, around you and stuff like that, or you pretty much just what have you. So it's always good just to kind of, learn from experience than missed opportunities, because at least with experiences, those are like, moments where you can actually think, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore because that'll happen. So now I know which, other, path and voyage to take. And this is where you're now kind of coming to terms by thinking, okay, I'm glad these situations happen because now I actually understand the situation, way better than before. Because here you could also be in the form of healing and recovering as well, because you're working incredibly hard with the Eight of Pentacles. So here you are actually doing a lot of major, like, recovery, what is it called? Damage control and stuff like that. You're pretty much now thinking, okay, we're going to heal and we're going to work incredibly hard from this whole incident that took place. And that's why, it's like you could also be definitely heading down towards, big changes and stuff like that. But it just looks like that, well, today's reading is a bit of a roller coaster ride. Let's put it in that, simplified, general thought here. So, and the reason why, and this is what I'm wondering, is, you could have been hoodwinked by the Seven of Swords, and that's why you didn't get anything, or you might not get anything out in the end, because, people are giving you false hopes and promises, and that's why you're not getting anything no matter how hard you work and stuff like that, because of the Seven of Swords. Now, it could be that you're recovering and healing from the Three of Swords, and that the Seven of Swords, and all, a different person is, has his or her eyes focused on you to think, okay, Sagittarius, will manage to have this rebirthing moment. Let's see what we can get out of the situation, because why would you suddenly and be losing an upcoming battle with the Five of Swords reversed? You might, be on somebody's radar or target, not to want to be putting any kind of unnecessary or irrational fear inside of you, but the thing is it's usually, the ones that pretty much have this resurrection moment in your life, or in anyone's life for that matter. That's why I'm still also kind of a bit cautious about looking for the vampire, because I'm wondering if the vampire is going to try to look for me as well. So, but here it just kind of shows that, but it could also be on a different note that, it's kind of like a trial and error kind of situation, where here you're working incredibly hard, and here you're going to keep strategizing because you're not really getting anything immediately out of that whole hard-working endeavor of yours. Because in the future, with the Five of Swords reverse, you get strength. Ooh, interesting. You get Aries, I believe. Yes, you get... No, we haven't come across... Yeah, Aries and Leo. Okay, and you. So here, it's like, maybe this is also kind of like, well, maybe a potential also recovery kind of moment, but this is also kind of a moment where you also have to just think, okay... it's like, again, we just can't give up. And that's actually the name of the game of any kind of outcome, as long as you keep going, It's like how, what was that? Somebody that created the light bulb or something. I would have to remember his name. But anyway, the thing is, it took that person also about so many times before it eventually worked. And that's usually the trial and error kind of idea. And that's with any kind of like, and, beautiful outcome is that you try something, it doesn't work, then you try something else, it doesn't work again, but then eventually, for unforeseen, a miraculous event, something does work, and you think, wow, how did that happen? Right? So here it is pretty much, like maybe you have to go back to the drawing board, but this could also be you thinking, okay, it's like, what can we learn, from our past? But it could also be that the Seven of Swords is going to try to do something, to you regarding the Five of Swords as well. So if somebody were to approach you for their services, I would definitely, it will kind of keep people at an arm's length and, distance, and say, what are your intentions toward me? Because I never asked for help. Why are you suddenly coming to me for help? Because for the Four of Swords reverse, wanting to take action, get Two of Swords. So again, this is like the cautionary tale. You'll know which direction you're going to be heading off towards in the future. And I'm just beyond impressed. And then to give you a beautiful silver lining, happy ending, this big change that is going to be heading off towards you is going to be supported by the High Priestess, considered one of the strongest, like cards in the entire tarot deck, because this is all about your senses and intuition, your past experiences, that is going to be preparing you, embracing you for this big change. Because the thing is I feel like today's reading is really primarily based off of, your cautionary tales, your past experiences, and the fact is even if you feel like you're dealing and struggling alone, sad but true, a lot of humans in their own way, their own mindset, their own body are just struggling alone. Yes, you'll have other people who have been down that road, hence, cautionary tales, but yet, you're the one who's going to be experiencing, all of these, changes, all of these transitions, all of these learning moments, what have you, and so forth, because you'll know exactly which direction to head off towards, and the high priestess of your past, of your upper book of knowledge is going to be guiding you, embracing you, and supporting you through this big upcoming change of whatever it may be. Wow. Get special vampire card. You get the Tower again. So there's this major changes on the rise for my beautiful pre-birthday, Sagittarius and stuff like that. So I just feel like it's like, yeah, big changes. I would just, because the thing is, when something is about to happen and there's really no way around it, let's say that you realize that, your whole castle is literally going to be set on fire, hopefully not, and then, and you realize, okay, there's nothing for us to do, to actually stop this incident because it's going to happen. And then you have to watch it happen, but as long as you know how to handle it, and, that is pretty much what all of these cards are all about, is trial and error and how to go about it, and just kind of, brace for, any kind of unforeseen and any kind of foreseen circumstances and stuff like that, because you have so much past amazing knowledge to actually be supporting you through these big changes. Because speaking of rebirthing, you get for your Oracle Death Rites, saying goodbye, formal occasion, and honoring lives. So this is like, your neighboring Scorpio card, the death card of having this rebirthing moment taking place. This is practically just having so much knowledge, common sense, past knowledge, cautionary tales, rebirthings and stuff like that. So this is where you're going to be entering into your birthday season. So please, brace for this real powerful, even though we're pretty much, heading off towards the end of the year, it doesn't mean that, because technically, it's like, September or even, the halfway in August is considered, the first year of our year cycle. But even though December or November, December is considered like the final months of each year, it's like, it's still going to come across as this real strong, powerful force to be welcoming you into your birthday season, for being a real strong-willed, oh my goodness, Sagittarius, welcome to your season practically. It's going to be quite a roller coaster ride. So brace yourself, but use your beautiful common sense, and happy pre-birthday to you all. So I'm going to be finishing off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions. Speaking of the 5 of Swords in reverse again, for number 1, it's a no. Okay, for number 2, this is a yes with the Moon upright, Pisces energy. And speaking of the 4 swords reverse again, this is a yes. So you get 2 yeses and 1 no in today's reading. My beautiful Sagittarius is welcome to your practically, the start of your beautiful birthday season. I'm going to be wishing you guys in your official season plenty of birthday messages. So happy birthday to you all. May all of your dreams, wishes, and desires all come true. Just think about what you hope to want to, wish upon before you blow out your birthday candles in other ways. But anyway, I love you guys incredibly. Next week, I will be doing the Macabre Tarot to help you guys overcome some fears of yours. In a few days, I'm going back to, and love reading, so forth, what have you. But anyway, I love you guys incredibly, and as per usual, take excellent good care of yourselves.